Welcome to Whoreology,
the podcast created to break down shame and stigma around sex and sexuality.
Being a whore is a state of mind.
And we're glad you're here. Welcome back to the podcast.
Episode 2.
We did it. We made it.
We're here.
We survived episode 1.
Yay.
Yay.
I'm less scared this time.
Yeah. Starting it is hard.
It is, but I already feel more comfortable and less nervous.
Yeah.
So this episode, we're going to talk about first dates.
Okay.
You seem nervous.
First dates are bad.
Oh, well, and that was my first question, was how do you feel about first dates?
First dates are bad. I feel like every first date I've gone on, I've put in so much effort.
Yeah.
To, like, get ready, to, like, contribute to picking a place, and then, like, they always go so badly. I've never been on a second.
Really?
Well, okay, there was Trey.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you guys went out multiple times.
Yeah, so I guess Trey.
What about, like, someone you were hooking up with, but you, like, are hanging out multiple times? Or was it just, like, a straight hookup?
What do you mean?
Like, have you not even, like more like a friends with benefit situation? Like, hung out multiple times, or do you not count that as a date?
Well, that would be Trey, but
okay.
We did go on, like, real dates.
Yeah, okay. I guess maybe that should have been my first question, is what constitutes as a date?
Someone says, do you want to go on a date with me?
Yeah.
And the other person agrees.
Yeah, because I still feel like it's a date when you're looking for casual, but you're, like, hanging out and getting to know each other. Like, I think even if you're not looking for something serious, I tend to call it a date.
Yeah, I agree. Like, if you're getting ready.
Yeah.
And you're going to a location on a certain time.
Yeah.
If you're worried you're going to be late, like, if you're worried that you being late is going to affect anything, it's a date.
I agree. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
I like dates, which I think is a little crazy.
Well,
maybe.
There's a clear difference here.
You could go out with more women.
Women scare me. Also, I'm trying, I promise.
Yeah, you have been trying. What was I saying? I like dates. I like first dates. I feel like they were really good for me when I moved to Philly too, because I didn't really know anybody. So it was a good way to meet people. It was a good way to explore the city. The first time I, like, got on public transit was for a date. Most of the bars and restaurants and places that I love in the city now, I found on first dates.
Okay.
I also feel like I like to, like, I don't know, I like to gab. I like to get to know somebody. So I think a first date, in a general sense, I really enjoy. I think it becomes stressful after that. Because then I'm like, what are you looking for? What am I looking for? What are we doing? Do you want to hang out again? Like, that whole thing, I think, is where it becomes, like, a little more stressful for me. But I really do enjoy a first date. So I think I'm a pretty easy person to take on a first date. You just have to, like, ask me out. Because I enjoy it. And if I don't have a good time, I just won't go on a second one.
See, I feel like I am also an easy person to take on a first date.
Yeah.
But the bar is... It seems to... Like, when people say the bar is in hell,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like men specifically think that the bar is... I was going to say in heaven, but that sounds weird. It's too high. And it's not, like... So I just went on a first date Monday.
Yeah.
And I told him that I wanted to go to this beer garden, and he didn't even bring his wallet. And it's not that I, like, was expecting him to pay.
I was expecting him to pay. He asked her out. That's a later question.
Yes. So, like, he did ask me out. So, obviously, I think the courtesy would have been he paid. But you have to bring your ID to go to a beer garden. And so that kind of, like, ruined the whole date. Yeah. And then he takes me to... this other bar is a dive bar that's cash only, and he doesn't have his wallet, so I have to get money out of the ATM. And
he texted you when you were on your way there, correct?
Yes.
Being like, I don't have my wallet.
Yes. He I don't know, he also swore a lot on the first date, and now I love to swear, but I don't know, it just felt really aggressive with it being the first date.
Yeah.
And then he kept using the word nuanced.
Nuanced.
Which bothered me.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't feel like you have the best first date luck. I also wonder if a part of it is that you're always looking for casual. I feel like I kind of flip between. Because I do feel like some of my worst dates are people who are also looking for casual. I feel like people are on better behavior when they want to, like, date you. I feel like when it is like I'm getting to know you because I want to hook up with you, I tend to have some of my worst dates too.
But we didn't even talk about it.
Yeah, no,
like
that
whether
one
or not
specifically is crazy.
Casuals. And then the one where the guy showed up in cargo shorts and Crocs. That was another one.
And you know how I feel about Crocs.
Yeah, Nikki hates Crocs. And no, I do own a pair of Crocs, but I would never wear them on any date, let alone a first date.
No.
And so, I don't know. I didn't talk to him about whether or not it was casual or serious or not.
Damn. I think maybe you just have horrible luck. Or maybe it's men.
Probably
Let
both.
us know. Comment below.
I think I just need to stop going on dates.
Yeah, maybe.
Until after
just in general?
Until after we've established, like a hookup, a casual situationship, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And then if you want to just hang out with me, we can do that.
Like, that's second base. First base is sex.
Second base is
like
date.
a dive bar.
Yeah, I do it backwards.
Yeah, and I think that's fine. I'm open to all of the above. Like, I'm cool with just a hookup, but I do love a little date. I'm like, if you ask me out, I'm down for whatever it is. If you just want to come over, cool. If you want to go to, like, 5 locations and spend the whole day together, I'm in. Like, I'm just kind of in for whatever.
Yeah, I'm so jealous about your, like, 24-hour-long dates.
I've been on some crazy first dates.
Yeah.
Where we're, like, we get, like, lunch and then dinner and then breakfast. Okay, do you prefer to meet people on or off the apps? Like, in person at a bar or, like, match on Tinder?
I prefer in person.
Yeah.
Because I like to see. It's very nuanced.
Ah, nuanced.
I'm kidding. I like to see people's, like, mannerisms.
Yeah.
In addition to what like what they say, and, like, do their actions really follow what they say?
Yeah.
Because someone can say that they're nice to, like, wait staff or bar staff, but not really be. And if I meet them in a bar, I'm gonna know immediately.
That's true. You can also see who they're, like, hanging out with. I feel like somebody's friends say a lot about them.
Yeah, and also the place you meet them, that says a
lot.
lot.
Yeah.
And then there was something else I was gonna say. Oh, it's so hard to know, like, is because specifically with men, take such bad pictures.
Oh,
I'm like,
okay.
is this what you're gonna look like when you show up? Are you gonna be better than this? Are you gonna be? And I feel like dating apps are all based off of look.
Yeah.
That I just don't like that. And then I really build someone up in my head. Like, I create a version of them in my head that ends up never existing.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just meet you out in a bar, know who you are, like, action-wise immediately with your mannerisms and shit, and then
go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that all makes sense, and I agree with everything you just said. But I feel like my problem is every time I meet somebody in person, it does not go well for me. I have way better luck on the dating apps.
Oh, I mean, it doesn't go well for me either.
Yeah, like, I feel like, like the time you met that guy on New Year's, and then it turns out he was, like, homophobic,
oh, this year,
fatphobic,
yes.
like, all of that, and I'm just like, I feel like I like, and again, you're right, people can lie. People can totally fucking lie, but I like the, like, layout of, like, these are my views. This is what, it's like, I like that I get, like, a little overview before I even speak to you, and it's like, here's a bunch of things about me, and I can immediately be like, you know. See, and I feel like in person is more based on looks, because I'm like, all I'm doing is looking at you. I feel like the dating app, I'm like, I get some little facts. I get some fun facts that I can be, like, left.
Yeah,
like, oh, sorry, we don't agree on this thing, bye.
There was a guy last year who I met in person at a bar, and it was a real, like, movie moment, and I was like, oh my god, are we about to fall in love right now? Spoiler alert, we didn't. No, it was so romantic though, because I was standing in front of a picnic table at this bar, and this girl I was friends with at the time was sitting in front of me, and she was so drunk. She was like blackout drunk, and her boyfriend was standing like next to the bench she was on, and then his friend walked up, and like I was leaning forward and I made eye contact with him over my friend's head, and like the whole room went silent, and he was just staring at me and I was just staring at him, and I went, hey, who's that guy? And then my friend started screaming his full government name at the top of her lungs.
Oh my god.
So I was like, okay. Where was I going with this? Oh, but then I later found out he fished.
Oh, like went fishing?
Yeah, he like likes to go fishing.
Yeah.
And so like I feel like most guys who fish will put that either like in their interest,
Yeah.
or they're holding a dead fish.
Yeah.
And that's a left for me.
Yeah, like an immediate.
Yeah.
Would have been nice to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's not a. I feel like talking about it, I don't know that I have a preference one or the other, but I feel like in my personal experience, I tend to have better luck on the apps. I don't know what it is every time I like, and maybe it is where I'm meeting people. I don't know. But also, it's like I'm meeting them at gay bars. Where else do I meet sapphic women? You know what I mean? And it's like, it's not usually great for me. Oh, speaking of your fishing is an immediate left. What else is an immediate left?
Confederate flags.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Trump flags.
See, and these are things I do not see on the women end of things.
Usually like a cowboy hat pickup truck combo. I swipe left on.
Yeah.
It gives country Republican, and I'm like, what about me says that we're gonna get along?
Yeah, that's fair.
I will swipe left on a Saturdays are for the boys flag, but I will not. It's not an immediate left if you have a dilly dilly flag.
What does that even mean?
It's just a drinking thing, but it's like it's silly.
Okay.
That's why I like it.
Dilly dilly?
Yeah.
I've never heard
Like,
of this.
I'm not gonna swipe right on them because of that, but they're not counted out because
It's just,
of it.
like, no opinion.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Oh, typos in the bio.
Oh, okay. This is a theme. This is a theme for Caitlin.
Yes. One time.
And I'm always making typos. Not in my bio. Like, I'm gonna proofread my bio.
Yeah.
But I am a typo-ass bitch.
No, and, like, a typo in casual conversation is fine.
Yeah.
But, like, sometimes I even type the wrong there.
Yeah.
But I catch it before I send the message.
Yeah.
Or, like, sometimes I try to type LOL and I type Lil. L-I-L. Lil. And so, I don't know. I just, one time there was this guy who had, if they have anything about Helen Keller in their bio.
Yeah.
That's an immediate left.
Mm-hmm.
But one time he had Helen Keller is a liar,
Uh-huh.
but he spelled liar wrong. It was L-A-I-R, so it was Helen Keller is a layer.
A layer. Oh, describe this Helen Keller thing. Another thing that I have never seen in women's bios.
Men just think that Helen Keller was faking it. That she wasn't really blind, she wasn't really deaf, and she could hear everything and actually talk.
And the amount of screenshots she has sent me of, like this is, like, how many people put this in their Tinder bio.
Yeah.
Why? It's crazy.
And so, my friend Haley, who will be a guest at some point, has a theory that men who don't believe Helen Keller are misogynists. And we typically find out this is true.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me. Oh, my biggest one I feel like is like a name thing. Like my sister's name or my mom's name.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, no Carries, no Amy's. Oh, and then bad photos. Like, blurry photos, a lot of, like, filters.
Group photos.
Oh,
if I don't know
yes.
which one you are, I'm swiping left.
Dude, and sometimes, like, the first two photos are, like, group photos. Or, like, there's two people. And I'm like, you think I'm going to get all the way to photo 3 right now?
Yeah.
I don't know who you are. Put a selfie first. Put a picture of yourself.
I hate when a group photo's first.
Yeah.
But if your whole profile is, like, group photos, I'm like, what is the point? Am I dating all of you?
You get to take the whole group out.
I'm going to find someone who has nothing but group photos and message them that and be like,
Yeah.
so do I get to take
everyone in the group shout out, or
Yes.
because I don't know which one you are.
You're taking all of them out.
Okay. They can pay for it though.
Yeah. Absolutely. There's so many of them.
Yeah.
They can split it.
Exactly.
Yeah, another one for me is like, still to this day, like so many people with like Snapchat filters. And
Oh
it'll
my
be
God,
like
yes.
3 selfies and it's like the same selfie and they're like heavily filtered with like just basic Snapchat filters.
Yeah.
I hate it.
And Snapchat filters like literally change the shape of your face.
Yes.
So I'm like, I don't.
And you look crazy. I'm like, it
Yeah.
doesn't even look good.
So immediate rights, it's hard because I feel like a lot of men don't have, like, they just won't put a bio.
Yeah, that's bad. Women
And
do that too.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I feel like every woman I've seen usually has a bio.
Yeah. They normally fill out the whole thing and the like the little prompts and everything, but there are some. There are some
Yeah.
that I'm like, why are you on here? Answer a question, please.
I feel like an immediate right has to be like, I can tell, my whole legs are just in this. I can tell we're going to have a lot in common. So, like, if
Yeah.
immediately I see, like, same music taste.
Yeah, that's one of mine.
I love a man with painted nails. For women, if they're more femme,
Yeah.
that's like a harder right for me.
Yeah.
But if they're like more mask, I'm like, I don't care what your bio says. I'm so be right.
Oh, okay. I thought you liked more mask women. I thought you were going to say it was a left.
No.
Got it.
It's an immediate right.
Yeah.
Mask women, immediate right.
Yeah, and mine's femme women. But I think that's the thing is I often will be like, you're really hot, and I'll immediately swipe right without looking at the bio, but then sometimes we match, and then I, like, actually look at their page, and I'm like, oh, never mind, and I, like, unmatch them.
I do that too.
But it is, like, a gut reaction to be like, oh, right.
Yeah.
But they don't get to stay if the rest of their profile isn't good.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah.
So one time, this is not about, well, I wanted to swipe right on this person, but I took a screenshot of their profile and closed the app to send it to probably like you or Haley to be like, oh my god, look at this person. And then I opened it back up and the profile was gone.
Oh no! Did you ever find them again?
No, I don't think so.
That's so sad.
It was back in Rochester anyway, so
Still sad.
Yeah.
You could have hooked up before you left.
that's true. Yeah.
Well, I really like prompts when there's one that I have like a good reply for. Like sometimes you won't actually be perfectly my type, but you'll have like a really good like profile and like prompts and stuff, and I'm like, I have a great response for this. And I'll reply to it. Especially if there's one like for like a good date. Like it happens on Hinge a lot where there's like that one prompt that's like, pick our first date, and you like write them out, and if there's like a good first date on there that sounds fun, I'm like, yes, I'm in.
Yeah.
That one.
I don't see a lot of men with that.
Okay. Yeah.
Like that specific like pick our first date kind of thing.
Yeah.
But some of them are funny. This one wasn't on my Hinge, it was on Carrie's.
Mm-hmm.
That guy who liked her that said like, let's break dating norms by like arguing during missionary. That would have been alright for me.
Yeah, see, I'm
'Cause
like
it's
anything
funny.
really, I like funny, I like interesting, I like anything kind of like hanging out centric, because I feel like that's the other thing for me is like I want to hang out like immediately. Like let's hang out. I don't want
Yeah.
to text. I don't want a pen pal. That's not what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if your profile is giving very much like let's hang out, you're way more likely to get a right swipe from me.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite app? Like of the dating apps?
I feel like Tinder is the easiest for hookups.
Yeah.
Bumble is the best if I want to be in charge.
In charge? Explain.
Because women can only message first.
Okay. I forgot about that. Yeah. Like, they're just a bunch of simps on Bumble.
But also,
like, everyone
yes.
on Bumble is a bottom, and I want to be on charge.
But also that.
Got it.
I just like if I want to make sure that if we match, the conversation goes somewhere, I feel like I have an easier time with that on Bumble.
That makes sense.
Or like, I feel like the boys on Bumble are softer.
Bottoms.
Yeah. They're like, I don't know. I feel like the boys on Bumble are more my type,
Okay.
but they're usually looking for something more serious.
Okay.
And then Tinder, it's easiest for hookups. I hate Hinge.
Yeah. Why?
Because the men that like me on there are foul.
No, that's valid.
Yeah.
I love to go through, actually she's in a relationship now, but our friend Morgan, I used to love to go through her Hinge. Like, almost every time we hung out, I'd be like, let me look, because she'd always have over 100 likes.
Mm-hmm. You
could never get that number down, and it was honestly hysterical to go through. And I love the voice prompts.
Oh my god. I do love the voice prompts. Those are pretty crazy.
Yes, and like the men that I'm just like, not to be mean, not to be rude, okay? But
Be mean.
who, like, you thought that you had a chance with her?
Right, she's so hot.
I'm like, this was a bold. I also, my biggest gripe with Hinge is that, like, if I set my filters to what I'm looking for, I'll get likes outside of that. Like, sometimes, like, I'll get a like from, like, a 19-year-old, and I'm like,
Ew.
that's, why are you giving me that? Or I'll get, like, a like from, like, I don't know, somebody who's, like, 50 miles away, and I'm like, no, I set my filters to a specific age range very close to me. I only like to go out with people who live in Philly. So I'm like, why are you even showing me? I don't care if they like me if they're 19 years old and they live in Delaware. I have the same problem with the app Her, which is like an all women, like all sapphic dating app. And it's the same thing where you can like go through who likes you. And so I'll get people who I'm like, you're so far away. You're too old for me. You're too young for me. And it's really annoying. Whereas I feel like, I mean, I guess it's cool. Like, I like the aspect that you can see who's liked you first instead of, like, Tinder and Bumble where you're kind of swiping in the void and you're like, does anybody like me? Until you find one that likes you. I think it's nice to have, like, a feed of people who've already swiped on you. Mm-hmm. But it's like, I wish that feed would be within the parameters that I set.
Yeah.
Like, if you're out of my preferences, don't even show them to me. I don't even want to see it.
Yeah, I, first of all, should re-download that app, and second of all...
Her or Hinge?
Her.
Okay, yeah.
But with, like, Hinge,
I don't even send likes out.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm just going to pop on once a day, see who liked me, and then close the app.
Yeah, no, that's relatable.
And I don't have notifications on for it because it annoys me.
Yeah, me either. Yeah, I'm not, like, I can't shit on Hinge too much because I met one of our best friends on Hinge. Shout out to Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
But in general, I don't have the best luck on Hinge. But yeah, it's the same thing where, like, I never really swipe. So, you know, I don't have the best luck. Her, I wasn't on until this year. So I think I've only met up with one girl off Her.
Who?
She's, like, not even important enough for me to give her a fake name. Oh, she stood me up once. Remember?
No.
She was, like, just supposed to come over. And then she didn't.
Yes, yeah. I remember.
Okay.
I didn't know she came off Her.
Yes, she's the only one to come off that app. I've, like, messaged a bunch of people. Like, oh my god, the girl who, like, one of the girls who, like, canceled, like, our first date last minute. Like, I just feel like I haven't had great luck. But I haven't been back on in a little while. So, not the best luck there. I do feel like Bumble's probably my favorite. I get the most matches on Tinder. I get asked out the most on Tinder. Most of my hookups come from Tinder, but I feel like the quality of people from Bumble is better.
Yeah.
Like, if I had to rank, like, if I had a list of my worst dating app experiences, Bumble would appear the least amount of times.
Yeah, I feel like, even if they're only looking for something casual,
Yeah.
they're not as, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Outright provocative about it.
Yes. Yes. On Tinder, they're like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I got a message from her that just said, DTF. And I said, gross. With a heart. And he responded with the letter Y. Not the full word, just the letter. And I said, do better next time. And he sent me just a question mark.
Oh my god.
I was like, is this how you communicate with people?
They don't even speak.
No.
I
It's like hieroglyphics.
don't know if I'll keep this in. But I got a message from a girl. Her first message to me was just, you trying to get your ass ate?
You need to keep it in.
I was like, okay.
You said okay back.
No, I didn't reply.
Oh,
I didn't reply to her.
You should have replied.
I should have, you're right. But I'm just like, I feel like that's the vibe on Tinder, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, like, everybody's, like, horny and insane. And I feel like Bumble's a little more, like, if I'm looking for casual, and I match with somebody on Bumble, we're gonna, like, grab drinks first, and, like, have a little date, and then we're gonna, like, go back to my place, and, like, have a little drink, and then, like, hook up. And I feel like if we match on Tinder, it's, like, they say they're gonna be here at 10 p.m., and then they get here at 11:30, and then we fuck and they leave. You know, it's, like,
yeah.
The vibes are very different. But I have been on, like, actually while looking to date and, like, looking for something more serious, I have had some success off Tinder. But yeah, it's like people whose bios explicitly state like they're looking for something more serious.
Trey came off of Tinder.
Oh, and we don't love Trey now, but like
we liked him at the beginning.
We liked him in the beginning. He has a better track record than most of the men will.
Yeah.
Up until he like lost his ability to communicate.
Yeah. Which seems to be the problem for both of us. Like when our kind of more like fuck buddies or situationships or anything, like somebody we're regularly talking to falls off, it tends to be a communication issue.
Yeah.
How long until you move off the app, and what's your preferred method of communication?
Carrier pigeon. Write me a letter.
Write me a letter. Send it in the mail.
Yeah. No, okay, so I don't really have a preference. I used to be, like, more nervous where I wanted to talk to you for, like, at least a week.
Yeah.
Before we went on a date. Like, you didn't have to wait a week to ask me on the date, but if you were going to ask me out, I wanted if you asked me out on Monday, the date couldn't be until, like, Friday or Saturday.
Okay, yeah.
But now I'm like, I don't care. So there was this boy, Bobby.
Bobby.
Who we had matched once before, and then I don't really know what happened. But then we matched again from the free tonight section at 8:30, and I met up with him that night at a bar, and we had sex. not at the bar.
Not at the bar.
But then Bobby turned out to be a little crazy, so maybe talking to him longer would have been better.
Yeah. You know, I often will message people and then hang out, like, that day. I love the free tonight section.
Yeah.
I love to hang out immediately. I'm a little impatient. And sometimes I don't know what mood I'm going to be in later. Like, I'll be like, I'm working a lot today, and then I come home and I'm like, okay, who's free? Let's hang out. But, like, I didn't know yesterday I was going to hang out. But I do feel like it bites me in the ass a lot. Like, I do feel like a lot of my weirder or, like, bad kind of dates or hookups or whatever are, like, because I did that. Like, it'll be a bad date, and I'm like, well, no shit, it was a bad date. You didn't know a single thing about her. She had no bio. You matched 3 hours ago. Like, what did you think was gonna happen? Do you think you were gonna fall in love?
But sometimes that's fun. I'm trying to think if I had anyone else who I met, like, right off the app.
Yeah.
Or, like, met on the app same day, like, that we matched.
Yeah.
But I think Bobby was the only one.
I met up with this girl once who we literally matched, like, immediately. She messages me and goes, are you free tonight? What are you doing tonight? And I was like, nothing. What's up? And she was like, you want to come be my +1 to a party? I was like, ooh, fun. I, like, went home, got ready. I was thinking this was going to be, like, a smaller kind of thing. It was, like, somebody's birthday, and the person whose birthday it was, like, in a relationship. So I thought maybe, like, it was, like, a smaller group hang, and, like, all of her friends were in relationships, so she just, like, wanted a date. No, this was, like, a party of, like, at least 30 people, like, bar hopping around. We'll call her Tanya.
Okay, Tanya.
So, so then I, like, show up. I don't know anything about her. We haven't spoken yet. We didn't even text. Like, there was nothing. I don't know anything about her. Her bio's not that filled out. Like, and I meet her. She's late. She's, like, 20 minutes late. And I time meeting her. Well, she invited me to come over to a house beforehand, but I had like a job later on, so I couldn't come that early. And so then it was like, she was like 30 minutes from here, at least on public transit, which wasn't in the direction of the bar. So I was like, I don't want to go all the way to the place you're hanging out at to then get in an Uber to then. So I was like, I'll just meet you downtown. But then they ended up being late. Yeah. So then we met up, and there was like over 30 people there, and we're all hanging out at this bar. We go bar hopping all night, and it was one of the most insane first dates. See, I'd call that a date, which
I don't know. I would call that a date.
Yeah, one of the most insane first dates I've ever had. But I'm like, I don't know that we would have. She also lived in Jersey. Like, she wasn't from directly in Philly. But we only matched because she was like in town for this party or whatever. And I think that I just like, even though that one did not end up like going that well after all, I'm like, I just like love shit like that. I think I'm really easy to be like if you invite me to something, I'm like, yes, I'm in.
Spontaneity is fun.
It is. It's great. Do you ever ask people out first? And if you do you have any good opening lines? On app or in person, either way?
In person really depends on like the situation, what we're vibing on.
Yeah.
I've definitely asked people out first. One time on St. Patrick's Day, I was drinking all day, and I had this guy who I don't even remember his name.
Valid.
We didn't do anything. Yeah. We didn't even kiss. But I got annoyed because he was messaging me, and I was like, "It's a national holiday. It's the most important holiday of the year." And he kept messaging me, and I was like, "So are you gonna ask me out or what?" I was like really mad about it, and he goes, "When do you want to hang out?" And I said, "Right now." And so he came to the bar I was at, and I was, at this point, I was like sobering up a little, and I was so tired, and it's like I couldn't keep drinking. So I just was like, this was a bad idea. And then he asked if I had a place for him to stay, because he came in from Canandaigua, which is 40 minutes.
Okay.
And he was like, "Do you have a place I could stay?"
Just to hang out with you last minute on a holiday?
And he was like, "Can I stay with you?" And I was like, "I'm going to my mom's, so no."
Yeah, also, that's insane. Like, if he didn't want to come out unless he could stay with you, like, he should have asked you that beforehand.
Yes.
Buy a hotel.
Correct.
Get a 40-minute Uber. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Have a friend drop you off.
Yeah.
Then get an Uber back. Then you only have to pay once.
Yeah. Or say, before you leave and get drunk, say...
He wasn't drunk.
Oh. So what?
I don't know. It wasn't even that late.
Okay. So
it was like 9:30.
So you just wanted to fuck, maybe?
And I was like, I'm going to my mom's. I was like, my brother's coming to pick me up, and I'm going home to my mom's.
Your brother just picked you both up in the car?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry to put you on the spot. This reminded me of a story. I don't know that it counts as a first date, but about the time that you brought a man home.
No, that wasn't the first time.
Okay. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So you comfortable telling the story? You don't have to.
Yeah, one time I met this guy out at a bar last May. We can call him Tyler.
Tyler.
Met this guy out at a bar. His name's Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
And we had, like, before we even hooked up, we were like, this is a one-time thing. But then it was really good sex. So, he, like, got my number. We, like, stayed in touch. And then, like, the next weekend I was out with some friends. And they were like, "Oh, yeah, you can spend the night here." And I was like, "Oh, no, I'm going to go home." Because I had texted him and was like, "Meet me at my apartment." And so I was drunk. So I took an Uber from the bar we were at to my house. But I had left my keys in my friend's apartment. Because I was like, "Oh, I can't drive. So I'm just going to leave my whole set of keys here." And I got home, met him at the door, and then couldn't open my apartment door. So I was locked out, and I called my brother because for my elder teenage years, I spent a lot of time
DDing him, picking him up from bars and shit. And so I was like, payback time, come let me into my apartment. It's 2 a.m. And he said, okay. And then he texts me and goes, I'm too tired, mom's on her way.
Yikes.
And so my mother shows up and me and this guy are just sitting on my porch. And I get in the car and I'm like, are you judging me right now? And she goes, no, but I think you should go.
You should go.
She was like, it looks like you have some company.
That's so embarrassing.
Yeah.
You were better than me.
I was so embarrassed.
You have to wait in the bush right now.
I don't know why I didn't make him hide.
Get back and hide.
I literally don't know why I didn't make him hide. I don't know what was wrong with me. I was still pretty drunk, but I was like...
Your mom's the best. It's fine.
She is.
We talk
but
about your mom a lot.
it was so embarrassing. I was like, oh my god, it's 2 a.m. I'm bringing this man home. And now my mom's letting me in. Yeah.
Oh, no. I don't even know what that question was. I just wanted you to tell that story.
Yeah, that had nothing to do with first dates.
No,
That's just a silly little story.
Just a little quip.
Little anecdote.
Yeah, about your life. Do you wanna do you ever ask out first?
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Do you?
I prefer to be asked out. I think I guess most people prefer to be asked out first. It's rare. It's rare that I'm gonna make the first move to ask somebody out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like we have to really be vibing, or you have to have like a really good profile. In person, I probably won't. Like I'll maybe approach and like talk to you, but if then I'll like get your number, get your Instagram, and then ask you out like later. I've never like met somebody in person and then like asked them out like that.
I think it depends because this goes into the. I know there's a question later about who pays.
Yes.
And I think
We can do that now.
I think it depends because I think whoever initiates the date should be the one to pay.
I agree.
And so if I'm poor, I'm not gonna ask someone out.
I agree. Well, you can just ask for hey, you want to go to a dive bar? Like, I'm not about to prompt a really crazy first date.
Yeah.
Because I can't.
Well,
afford that.
I still pick like a low key spot.
Yeah.
Just in case they don't pay.
Yeah.
But I think the new customary should be not like quote who's the man, who's the woman, like in queer presenting relationships.
Either.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And then in like straight presenting relationships, like, you know, quote the man pays. Like, I don't think it should be that. It should be whoever asked the other out.
I totally agree. I feel like for me it is, and I feel like that's pretty standard for like sapphic women at least. Like, I feel like most of us do that and follow that. I will offer to split it most of the time. If I don't offer to split it, I'm probably poor as shit at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Or I did not have the best. Although, no, even when I have a bad time, sometimes I offer to split it because I'm like, okay, yeah, like, I want to go and I don't want to feel like I, like, owe you something. Not that I would, but that's a different conversation for another time. I'm just, like, I do feel like I'm usually offered to split it. But I do expect, like, if I'm asking you out, I'm prepared either I'm paying or we're splitting it.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask me out, you're paying or we're splitting. If you ask me out, I'm not paying for the whole bill. You know?
Yeah.
It's split or you're paying the whole thing.
No, I agree.
And I will not offer to pay it if you asked me. So.
I've been on dates where I've split it.
Yeah.
And dates where they've paid for the whole thing, but I've never paid for the whole thing.
I've paid for the whole thing a couple times.
Oh, no. I don't.
I know. One was,
It's not that I don't, it's just that I haven't. Like, I will always offer, like, can I pay? Like, can I split this with you?
Yeah.
That's a lie.
Don't lie on air.
You know, usually I will ask, like, can I split this with you?
Yeah.
And sometimes they say no and I don't ask again.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not like, oh, are you sure?
If are you sure I like you.
Yeah.
If you get a, are you sure? I'm into you.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I've never, are you sure someone?
Never into someone.
I
I
you
lied. I
sure?
did pay once.
Oh my god. Which one?
My first date with Trey.
Oh, okay. And we liked Trey.
Yeah, but it wasn't like he didn't try to pay. Like, he tried to pay,
Mm-hmm.
and I, like, threw my card in the bartender.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
I was like, no, give me this. Because then I was going to be like, that's okay, you could get the next one.
Yeah.
And he did get the next one.
Yeah.
We got in, like, an every other kind of pattern.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is my in to see you again. Let me pay.
Let me pay. Let me do it.
And
Yeah.
it was only drinks.
Yeah, most of my first dates are drinks. I feel like that's the way to go. Especially because we often, like, will, like, bar hop, or we'll just, like, be sitting at a bar, so we'll, like, order another round. And then I really like that, because it's like, oh, you buy this round, I'll buy the next round. I feel like like, you're splitting it, but it does feel like, oh, let me buy you a drink, you know, and not like,
Yeah.
I'm paying for me, you're paying for you.
Mhm.
I don't ever really do, like, dinner, which is when it becomes, like, a big bill.
Yeah.
However, I think there's only once I've, like, covered dinner on the first date. But we started thrift shopping. We met at, like, a thrift store. And she did buy me. She bought me stuff at the thrift store. And I was like, oh my god, how sweet. And then we went and got dinner and drinks. So it was, like, an expensive bill.
Oh my god.
And for me.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh no. But I came home and I was like, I was in the best mood. I went immediately to Salem's place. I didn't even come back to mine. I went to our friend Salem's. And I was like, I just went on the best date. I have a thrift haul for you. Also, I spent over $100 today.
One time I went on a first date and he took me to this really fancy Italian restaurant. I didn't pick it. I said I wanted Italian, like I just wanted noodles. Like you could have taken me to Olive Garden.
Yeah.
And what I really wanted was carbonara. Carbonara? Is that how you pronounce it?
I think so.
Because one time Trey made me carbonara, and it is so good, and I've never had it since.
We're really hyping Trey up on this episode.
I know. Don't worry, his downfall is coming.
Yeah.
And so I wanted this specific dish. Get to the restaurant, they don't have the dish. He was so nervous, he didn't eat, and the waitress comes over and was like, what's wrong with the chicken parm? And he's like, nothing. He like literally did not eat a single bite of it. I felt bad, but then I was like, there's nothing to be nervous about, like I'm just here yapping, it's okay.
You're just so beautiful.
Oh, thank you. And
He didn't know what to do with himself.
And so the bill comes, and I don't know what the total. Well, obviously, I could figure out the total because it's double mine, because I was like, oh, can I split it with you?
Yeah.
He was about to pay, and I was like, can I split it with you? And he said yes.
Oh.
And it was $45 for my half.
That was an expensive bill.
Yeah. I was like, $45? We could have gone to Olive Garden and both eaten for $45.
You're right.
Not that I'm not, like, thankful he wanted to take me to somewhere nice, but, like...
No. He didn't even eat. He didn't eat his food.
Yeah.
God. No, I've had some. Sorry, continue.
I didn't love what I ate.
Yeah.
Like, it was just chicken parm.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Oh. I've had some that are, like, the amount of money spent. I can think of two specifically. I went on a date that this girl spent over $300.
Oh my god, that was crazy.
Yes. And I was like, it was very sweet. But it was also, like my profile said casual. Her profile said casual. We hooked up once. I, like, booty called her at, like, 11 p.m. And we, like, hooked up. And then she was like, do you want to hang out? And then she took me on this really fancy, nice date. And that was, like, it was love bombing. She was giving love bomber right out the gate. And I was just like,
We don't like that.
no. And then I never saw her again because I was like, she asked me if like what I was looking for, even though my profile said casual, and I booty called her for the first date. But I was like, I'm not really looking for anything serious right now. And then she was like, do you think I could change your mind?
Oh god.
No, I don't think so. And then I
No,
never saw
I
her
don't
again.
actually think we.
But I was like, I didn't tell you to spend $300 on me. You're not gonna love bomb peer pressure me into wanting to date you.
Yeah, that's not how it works, people.
Yeah. And then there was another one last fall that I don't know the bill, but it was certainly triple digits.
Oh.
And You think I was gonna say like thousands?
Yeah, I thought you, when you said that, I was like, oh my god, over $1,000.
Bro, we got caviar? Like, what was that?
What?
I don't know.
I need to date more women.
You too. The bill was crazy, but then it was like, so we were at this nice restaurant, and I was like, in like a floor length skirt, like a maxi skirt, and I had like my like nice bag and like some little heels, and then we went to the club. We go to Concourse after that, and I'm like, there's a ball pit. This is a club by us with a ball pit and a dance floor and an ice room and cage dancers, and I am in a floral maxi skirt, and I look prepared for a nice dinner. But it was fun, and she paid my cover there too.
Oh my god.
Those I think were the two most like, I don't know, insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That I was like, why are you spending this much money on me? I don't know. And then she didn't want to hang out again. So I was like, well,
That's crazy.
I guess maybe, I don't know.
She set a really high bar though.
So, yeah. I think she did want to hang out again. It was just like she was so weird. After the first one, she like left something at my house and then like came back to pick it up. We were like trying to schedule a time for her to pick it up, and she was being really weird. And then she didn't even get out of her car. I like walked it down to the car thinking we were gonna like hang for a little bit, because she was like, she had to reschedule coming to pick this thing up like 3 times. So I was like, oh, she must be trying to like have a good chunk of time to like hang out. And then like I go downstairs and she literally like wasn't even parked, like pulled over on the side of the road.
She double parked?
Yes, she double parked.
That's crazy.
To pick up something from my house. And I like brought it down to her and was like, hey, like didn't even get out of the car. And I was like, okay. And I like handed it to her and she drove off. And then when she got home, she texted me and was like, we should hang again soon. And I didn't reply.
What the fuck?
So like I guess it's wrong to say she didn't want to hang again soon, but I was like, she could have hung out right then.
Yeah.
She was at my place. Didn't even get out of the car and like give me a hug.
I knew
fucked. Like, what are you doing?
I knew she didn't get out of the car.
Yeah.
But I didn't know she double parked.
She double parked. She was like,
that just adds a little element to it that I was crazy.
she was in a hurry. I don't know.
I guess so.
She was also from Jersey. Both these girls were from Jersey.
Damn. Maybe no more Jersey girls.
No more Jersey girls for me. God. Oh, well, the other crazy one, it wasn't even the girl, but it was actually the same girl I was talking about earlier, who, like, our first date was, I was, like, her +1 for a party. Mm-hmm. Tanya, she, for the second time we hung out, we were with this group of straight men she was friends with. We went out separately, and then they ended up being out, and we met up with them. Mm-hmm. And they bought everything for the whole night. We went to a club here where the cover is $30. They paid for both of us to get in.
Wait, what club is that?
I forget what it's called. It's the other big one, not Woody's.
Voyeur?
Yes, Voyeur. And so they paid for our cover there. And we went to Woody's. We went to both. Which means $50 in cover.
That's crazy.
And we were hanging out at like just like a dive bar before that. And like these guys were like taking turns buying rounds of drinks. And they were like, they were buying like buckets of drinks. So it was just like buckets of drinks over to the table. And every time it was like one guy would bring a bucket over, and then I'd be like, oh, can I grab one of these? And he's like, yeah, of course. And then like a different guy, it's his turn to buy, and he comes over with a bucket, and I go, can I grab one of these? And he goes, yeah, of course.
I want to hang out with these men.
It was crazy. So, and then it was like, I said something like to one of the guys, actually the one who ended up paying my cover at the $30 place. And I was like, I feel kind of bad that I'm just like drinking everybody else's alcohol. And he goes, well, you know, you could just buy a round next. And I said, okay. Yeah, sure.
I'm poor. I can't do that.
That's not happening. Like, I'll buy Tanya a drink. I'll buy me and Tanya a drink, and I did.
Slay.
And I did. But I'm like, you guys, I owe y'all nothing. If you want to give me free alcohol, I'm not going to tell you not to, but I'm not buying you shit. I don't know you.
I agree.
Yeah. So, do you ever make the first move? Especially you. Not especially you.
Me specifically.
You specifically. As a woman who dates men, do you ever make the move for the first kiss? And if not, would you?
Yes, I have.
Huge.
Trey.
Try it again.
Yeah, that one was funny because we were sitting at the bar, and I had my hand, like, on, like, I was leaning against my hand, and I, like, went to lean forward, and my elbow, like, slid across the bar. And so then we both started laughing, and I was like, sorry, that wasn't supposed to happen. And, he was like, it's okay, and then I kissed him.
Yeah, I feel like I used to be really nervous to make the first move when I started dating, and now I'm like, I'm used to it, I always do it, it's always me, and I'm pretty comfortable with it. But I know that I have a lot of, like, women friends who date men who, like, will not do it.
Yeah, I think it depends on the situation, how comfortable I feel with them.
Yeah.
And then I've never been on a date with a woman, but I have, like, been talking to many women at bars, and somehow it's like just a mutual decision. We just get closer and closer until we kiss.
You just end up that way.
Yeah.
I feel like you're way better at talking to people not in person, but, like, meeting people in person than I am. Like, approaching people and, like, talking to, like, a stranger. I think I need the comfortability of, like, we matched on a dating app and now we're here. And you're so good at just, like, that person's hot.
I love
yeah.
hit on people.
She just walks over. It's kind of hot of you.
Oh, thank you.
I think. You just do it. Do you have a favorite and a least favorite type of first date? This I think we're really in agreement on. We don't like dinner.
Yeah, I hate dinner. Don't take me to dinner.
Yeah.
I feel really awkward if anyone watches me eat, like, noodles or a salad.
Yeah.
Like, anything that's not easy on a fork. I get so embarrassed trying to eat it.
Yeah.
And then it's such a long, drawn-out thing. Like, if I am having a bad time with you, I can, like, chug a drink and then leave.
Yeah, that's true. It's, like, quick, yeah, even, like a coffee date or, like a bar are so much less commitment than, like, we have to eat a full meal. And then, as we were saying earlier, like, the whole thing about, like, paying for it, it's gonna be way more expensive.
Yeah.
You gotta wait for the check to come. I'm cool with dinner if we end up there. Like, I've done, like, we get coffee and then it's going really well. So we, like, go hang out at a park and it's going really well. And now it's time to eat, so we get dinner. But I think, like, meeting at a restaurant
Scary.
is stressful. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Bar is my favorite, like, standard date, but I love an activity.
Yeah. I really want to go... Well, I want someone to take me to the planetarium.
Yes.
First off.
If you're listening to this and you are in the Philly area and you want to take
me to the planetarium,
please do it.
My Instagram is at ONEILLC13. Just slide into those DMs.
Please.
Chances are I'll say yes.
Or especially if you're a woman.
Yes.
If you're a masked woman.
Masked women, please apply. But what was I gonna say?
Sorry.
Now I'm embarrassed. I'm kidding. I'm just so bashful now. I just lost my train of thought. Oh, planetarium would be, like, if someone offered to take me to that, I would marry them. I'm kidding.
That's, like, your ideal first date.
Yes. But anything like the Touch Museum or the Illusion Museum, like, those sound so fun.
Yeah.
Any of the art museums. I still haven't been to any of the art museums.
I
think still. I've only been here 3 weeks.
You know, but, yeah, I think any of the museums I love a museum date. Arcade date has been my favorite, which is crazy because I'm not that big of, like, a gamer, an arcade person in general, but it's, like, I don't know, I got in a kick last year where I went on, like, 5 or 6 arcade dates, but I made it one of my Hinge prompts where it's, like, choose our first date, and one of them was arcade, and it was, like, the girlies loved that. So now I'm, like, I literally...
Maybe I should try that.
In my wallet right now, I have I have a card with points, like, for 3 different arcades in Philly. I know all the arcades, and all of them are for dates. Catch me at the local David Buster's with a different girl. This is what's your best first date story? Do you have a best first date story?
Not really. I mean, Trey's the one that worked out, really.
Yeah.
And only for, like, a month.
Yeah. Well, not so much the relationship. The date could have been the only good part.
It's still him.
Okay. Yeah.
All my other first dates are bad.
So sad.
I know. What's yours?
My best first date is actually a girl I only went out with once, which is kind of sad, kind of tragic. But she was a ceramics artist.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and I do think that I'm going to give her first place because we met at a coffee shop, we hung out there for a while, and then so it was like the morning. And then and again, I'm dressed up really nice. I'm always in a maxi skirt. And we decided to go to her ceramic studio. So we walked to her house. Then she drives us to her ceramic studio. I painted some stuff she already made, and then she taught me how to throw on the wheel, which was really fun.
That's so romantic. I want to do that.
It was so fun. And then we went back down to south where we were, and drove back to her place, and we went thrifting together, and then we got dinner. So it was just it was an all-day event. All my favorite dates are an all-day event.
Yeah, I've never had one that's an all-day event.
We need to make that happen for
I know.
you. I love just a whole... And then the only reason I went home was because I had plans that evening with friends, and I was literally about to be late. I wasn't late. I was perfectly on time, but I'm usually early. Mm-hmm. And I was I cannot be late. And then she offered to drive me home so that I could hang a little, because I was going to take the bus. And we were just sitting, we'd finished eating, and we were just sitting and talking. She's like, well, I can drive you home if that gives you a little more time. And I was like, yeah. So I hung out a little longer, but we did not go out again, unfortunately. But I will call her the best first date regardless. It was super fun.
That sounds romantic. I told my dad when I was younger that if he ever won the lottery, I wanted him to build me a balcony so I could put a pottery wheel on it.
That's cute as fuck.
Right? And so, I always wanted to learn how to throw on the pottery wheel. And if someone did that at a first date, I'd cry.
I know. It was so nice. And now, as you can probably tell, she didn't want to date me again. I was down. So, now this next question is really for you. Because it's, now what was your worst first date? And here's your moment to shine. I don't actually know what your answer for this is going to be, though.
There was this one guy, I'm going to call him Xander. I don't think it's the one you're thinking of, but this one's the worst for sure because we met at this coffee shop. He did buy my drink, which was nice, but it was so awkward because I asked every single question. I really carried the weight of the date. He would never reciprocate and be like, and what about you? He bragged about how much money he made in his job as a medical assistant, and he told me that he was going to I don't even remember, a bunch of places in Italy, or not Italy, Europe, it may have been Italy, Greece, something, and I was like, oh, that's so nice, I've always wanted to go, and he was like, well, if you start saving now, you could come with me next year, and I was like,
sure. I
was like, first of all, that's weird, this is our first time meeting, second of all, you just bragged for 20 minutes about how much money you made, why can't you pay for me?
Yeah, what the fuck?
But the thing that made it, really bad, other than just awkward, is he walked me to my car, and then without asking, he kissed me. Oof. And he was a really bad kisser. God. And then when he was done...
What made him a bad kisser?
His tongue just, poked out and, didn't even go into my mouth. It wasn't coming out at the right point that we should, smack me.
Oh, fuck.
And so when he was done, he was like, I can't wait to see you and your dog again. And he had never met my dog. And so I was like, I'm not subjecting her to that.
That's nuts.
And so I texted him after, I got home, one question, and it was, what was his zodiac sign?
You could report it.
So I could record it. And then I ghosted him.
As you should.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Sorry if you can just see the sun setting around us as we're recording this.
Yeah, I didn't bring a light in here, so it's a little dark.
It's kind of good for the vibes. Also, sorry if I'm on my phone. I'm reading our show notes. So besides him, have you ever ghosted anybody else after a first date? And have you ever been ghosted after a first date?
I've never been ghosted after a first date.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think.
Yeah. What about a first hangout of any kind? Even a hookup or no?
No, not first.
She's just so hot and good in bed. And nobody would ever.
I've been ghosted by the same guy twice after multiple times of hooking up each time. And then he matched with me a third time on Tinder. And I messaged him and I said, "You're crazy for real." And he said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Ghosting me twice and then still liking me on a dating app? That's weird." And I didn't know he had liked me. Like, I just suspected it because he kept popping up. Mm-hmm. And so I swiped right on him and it immediately matched. So that's why I'm trying to establish the fact that I don't pay for dating apps.
Yes.
But yeah, like the guy from Monday forgot his wallet.
Oh yeah.
I didn't
ghost him.
Well, I just didn't answer his message. He started after our weird bad date. He started sending me messages about the Amish on Reddit, and I just didn't answer them. Yeah. And then he never reached back out. I never reached back out to him. So that was it.
Silly.
Yeah.
I can only think of once. Oh no, I can think of twice I've been ghosted after a first date. Yeah. One was recently and one was like 3 years ago. And I don't know why. Either time. Well, okay, the second one was like after, but here's the thing, I will not double text. So
me either.
Yes. So when I say ghosted, I mean like I sent a text to them after the date and like there was no reply. And like that was it. I'm not about to be the motorcycle.
What the fuck are they doing?
I don't know. There's outside noises, there's a dog, it's getting dark, Kaylin's yawning.
This podcast, this episode's a mess, sorry.
We're going off the rails. Yeah, I won't try again. If you don't reply to one message, no matter what it is, even if it's not me like trying to hang out or whatever, like I'm not sending another one. So
I'm on the same page.
Yeah. So one was like literally almost like 2.5, 3 years ago. And that was weird because we texted for a while after the date, and then it was like she just didn't reply to one of my messages, and so I was like, all right. And then the more recent one was like we texted that night, like it was like we both took like a bus home, so it was like got home safe, had a great time, whatever, and then I like texted her like a couple days later and she didn't answer. So don't know what happened there. And have I ghosted? Unfortunately, a few times. So it's my karma. Actually, I deserved those two.
Yeah, I ghosted the guy, Xander. Is that the name I just came on? Yeah. Well, it's really close to his real name.
Yeah.
And then the other weird coffee shop date guy, I ghosted him. Oh my god. I ghosted him, and then he proceeded to send me like 18 messages.
Oh yeah! I forgot about that.
I also forgot about that. Which probably karma, but one of them was like a meme that said like, "Yo, shawty, you tripping?" or something like that.
Oh my god.
And I have, not after our first date, but after our first hookup, I did ghost this guy named Adam. That's his real name. There's so many Adams.
It's fine.
The sex was bad. It was in a dorm room. And this was as an adult. Like, I was 23 when this happened. And he was really, like, immediately, like, asking me a bunch of, like, super serious questions about, like, dating and marriage and children and how I, like, all my outlooks on life. And I was like, this is a lot considering we just had bad sex.
Yeah.
And then, and so I told him it was kind of like a one-time thing, and then he like started messaging me, and he's like, "What's a guy gotta do for a second time with you?" And like he also sent me a meme that was like, "You a dog for real?"
What is up with these men?
I don't know.
It makes sense that you've never been ghosted though, because I feel like every man you talk to is like obsessed with you. Like they won't.
This
leave
is
you alone.
not true.
No, it is true. After she moved here, I had to answer her phone and pretend to be somebody else and tell this guy that I didn't know who he was because he called her. She blocked his number and he continued to call her from 2 different numbers. This man, she never went out with.
Nope. I met him once at a bar, gave him my number, and we never hung out.
outside of the bar.
That's crazy.
But I don't.
They don't leave you alone.
But it's like never the guy I want to
Yeah.
be obsessed with me. Who's obsessed with me?
Okay,
It's
that's
always
fair.
some NPC.
And I was gonna say that I don't usually ghost. I'm a pro of like let it fizzle out. Like where I'll like respond to your text, but I'll be like, oh, I'm just like so busy this week. Again, I'm talking after a first date. Not
Yeah.
like we've been on multiple dates, like we're like really hanging out, really talking. I wouldn't do this, but like I'm talking we went on one date, we barely know each other, I didn't have a good time. I like to just try and let it fizzle. But I've definitely ghosted, not recently. I haven't done any ghosting in the last like year, but I think that I used to do it a lot. I was recently going through my photos and like cleaning out the storage on my phone, and I found a screenshot of this girl who I probably still have it. But basically it was this girl who I like, she was one of the Libras.
Oh no.
And so it was like not a good first date for me, and it was like, I don't know. I was uncomfy. We'll talk about her another time, I'm sure. But she messaged me, and I did the kind of just like, oh, I'm so busy. And I had told her she was like clearly looking for serious, and I kind of was, but I told her that I wasn't, like right on the date, like up front, because I was like very clearly from the start, like this was not going to work for me. So I figured like the easiest out was to be like, again, would I do this now? No, I think that I'm a way better communicator now, but this was like 2.5 years ago. And so I was like, no, I'm just like not looking for anything serious, expecting her to like kind of just be like, oh, okay. But she was like, oh, no, that's okay. And so she like continued to text me. And at first I was just like, I'm really busy, which I was, but I also had another date planned like 3 days after her, which was Kira. And it went really well.
Is this the Libra that told her mom about you?
Yes. Yes, before we even went out, and we weren't texting beforehand, like we didn't know anything about each other, and she showed up and she was like, we were waiting at the bar to be seated for dinner. Again, a fucking dinner date. So it's like, we hadn't even received our seats yet. Mm-hmm. I have talked to this girl for 2 minutes. We sent maybe 5 messages back and forth, and she was like, I'm so excited. I really feel like this could be something special. She told me that she already told her mom about me, and it was just like, it was so love bombing right off the start. She like scared the shit out of me. And so I don't know, she was nice, and I like try to be nice, but yeah, I immediately like 3 days later went out and met a girl I really liked and really wanted to date. Mm-hmm. And I fully ghosted her, and I literally forgot that I ghosted her until I was going through pictures recently, and I have a screenshot text of her being like, wow, it's such a shame you're not replying to me because I had such a great first date, kind of tragic.
I didn't know she said that
I
to you.
forgot, and I don't think I replied. I tried to look up our text conversation after I saw that screenshot, and I was like, I can't, and it's gone. Like, I deleted the text thread, so I'm like, okay, I was a bitch there. I should have just said I don't want to date you. Don't do that. Just say you don't want to date somebody. Okay, yeah. I've learned, I've grown, you know, but, yeah, so I've done it. Like I said, the 2 that ghosted me, karma. I deserved it.
That's fair.
I think that's it. Unless you have anything else you want to say.
No, you nailed it with these questions.
We switched roles this time.
Yeah, you had a lot of really good questions.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like dating is more my expertise.
Yeah, I'll have some good hookup questions.
Yeah, we'll put you in charge of the sex episode, which I think is next with our friend Sarah.
Yeah.
So get ready for that one.
Can't wait.
All right. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Love you. Thanks for watching.